From Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.
On News Hour tonight, PDP and APC presidential candidates face another legal hurdle as court hears disqualification suit. Preparations in top gear to celebrate Nigeria's 62nd independence anniversary. Court in Sokoto sentences nurse to 18 months in jail for piercing the eye of newborn baby. On the foreign scene, heavy gunfire heard near Burkina Faso's presidential palace. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Hour. I am Diron Onifade. Justice Inyang Eko of the Federal High Court in Abuja will, on October 6, begin hearing in a suit seeking the disqualification of APC presidential candidate Bola Tinubu for allegedly acting in breach of the Electoral Act. The suit, instituted by the immediate past Minister of State for Education, Chukwuemeka Nwajuba, and filed alongside a non-governmental organization under the aegis of the Incorporated Trustees of the Rights for All International, is equally praying the court to disqualify the candidates of the opposition People's Democratic Party, PDP, Atiku Abubakar, over the same allegation. Justice Inyang Eko ordered service of all relevant court processes as well as hearing notices on all the defendants in the matter. Lawmaker representing Gwe East and Gwe West Federal Constituency, Mark Bila, has threatened to take legal action against the Independent National Electoral Commission for gross negligence. The lawmaker observed that the electoral umpire, while collating its final list of candidates contesting for various offices, had erroneously recorded his name twice and against two different political parties, the New Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, and Labour Party, LP, for the upcoming senatorial seat in his constituency in Benue State. The lawmaker says he's taking the legal action against INEC for refusing to act on his notification to the body, informing it of his movement from the New Nigeria People's Party to Labour Party, noting that the action might pose a challenge for him at the coming elections.
While it is true that INEC's publication on 20th September 2022 of the list of national, that is presidential, Senate, and House of Representatives candidates for the 2023 general elections indicated my name as the candidate for both Labour Party and New Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, for the Benue Northwest Senatorial District elections, this publication was erroneous and without my knowledge, and I have since initiated necessary legal action against INEC and NNPP in order to correct this grievous error, which is alleged to have occurred because of NNPP's inability to upload the name of their replacement candidate to the INEC portal within the timeline provided by INEC, and INEC's publication of the last name sent by NNPP without taking into cognizance my resignation of membership and withdrawal as candidate of the NNPP for the Benue Northwest Senatorial District election, which was accompanied by an affidavit I deposed to in this regard on the 7th of July 2022.
The Court of Appeal in Abuja on Friday has confirmed Governor David Umahi as APC senatorial candidate for Ebonyi South, dismissing the appeal by Princess Anne Agomeze. She challenged the emergence of Governor Umahi as the Ebonyi South senatorial zone candidate following a primary election on July 30. A federal high court sitting in Abakaliki had in August recognized Agomeze as the senatorial candidate for the zone. However, the Court of Appeal, in its judgment on Friday, set aside the High Court decision. The Appellate Court also held that the High Court was wrong when it upheld Agomeze's counter affidavit and failed to uphold the primary election of the 9th June, whereat Governor Umahi was nominated as the APC senatorial candidate, as the nomination was never challenged by anybody within 14 days as prescribed by Section 2859 of the 1999 Constitution. The court in Abuja proceeded to grant all the relief sought by Governor Umahi and the APC. Hundreds of supporters of New Nigeria People's Party NNPP greeted the visit of the party's presidential candidate Rabiu Musa Kwankwanso to Jos, the Plateau State capital. Kwankwanso is in Jos to commission the party offices. His visit is coming few days after a similar visit to the state by Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi. Moving on to security issues now, the governors of Katsina, Sokoto, Zamfara states and their counterpart from Maradi in Niger Republic held a multilateral security meeting in Katsina State in a bid to find lasting solution to insecurity in the region. The governors described how insecurity has deprived farmers of access to their farms, thus threatening food security. Jamil Mabay has more.
The convener of the meeting and the governor of Maradi region, Chebo Abubakar. The meeting is expected to come up with solutions to the security challenges in the Sahel region. The governor of Maradi said it is important that they come together to fight insecurity as it affects everyone in the region.
And socio-economic development.
Governor Aminu Masari said the state government is doing everything possible to tackle insecurity, especially at the community levels.
And socio-economic development of its people. I think this essentially is the main reason behind today's meeting. Participants are therefore expected to think out of the box and provide credible tips and the concrete suggestions that will assist the affected state governments in collaboration with the security agencies to discharge this all-important responsibility successfully.
He said the state government has built the capacity of traditional rulers and the local government administrators to deal with the emerging real and potential threats in their areas.
The convener of this meeting, the governor.
Governors Aminu Tambol of Sokoto, Bella Muhammad of Zamfara, and Atiku Bagudu of Kebbi expressed their concerns over the perennial security situation and hoped that at the end of the meeting, a lasting solution can be reached, especially synergy among the states to fight this huge monster head-on.
And also the convener.
At the end of the meeting, resolutions were reached that includes stationing of a temporary security monitoring center in Katsina, increased military operations along the frontline states.
Conducted by the military covers Katsina, Zamfara, Sokoto, and Kebbi states. There is therefore the need for defense headquarters clearance to these sectors to meet and develop unified strategy or strategies to combat the common security challenges bedeviling the areas. Accordingly, the meeting further recommends the need for stakeholders meeting involving all the heads of security agencies in Katsina, Zamfara, Sokoto, and Kebbi State, and Maradi and Tawa regions to be hosted by the headquarters of Operation Hadarin Daji and facilitated by the governors of the affected states. The meeting recommends that in the event of an express directive for a clearance operations, once it is started, it should be coordinated by land and air and shouldn't stop until it reaches its final point.
Jamil Mobay, reporting for Trust TV, Katsina.
The Birnin Gwari Emirate Progressive Union, BEPU, says bandits have asked residents in 4 communities in Briningwari local government area of Kaduna State to pay 12 million naira before they can access their farms. According to a statement on Thursday by BEPU chairman Ishak Kasey, the bandits gave the farming communities till this Friday, September 30, to meet their demand. He said that the bandits have increased attack on the communities, adding that the 6 people kidnapped at the farm center on Saturday from Kwaga local government community were released on Wednesday after giving the bandits 20 measures each of rice and beans, 25 liters each of red oil and groundnut oil, in addition to Richard cards worth 10,000 naira. He said a farmer was killed at Shiwaka community on Tuesday after being tied to a tree, and more than 20 people were kidnapped on Wednesday at different farms in Jangali and Kwaga areas. He called on the government to intervene in order to enable farmers access their farmlands without fear of attacks. The final laps of preparations to mark Nigeria's independence for 2022 is in top gear at Eagle Square in Abuja. While the nation marks its 62nd anniversary, some Nigerians said there is little to celebrate. The report.
The first time the nation's flag was raised and the sound of the then national anthem filled the hearts of Nigerians with hope. Nigeria, we hail thee. And now, Nigeria marking its 62nd independence anniversary, it was a journey of growth, development and also of pain. Celebrating the day at the Eagle Square, all seems set as finishing touches are being made. The decorations, sanitations as well as aerial rehearsals by the Nigerian Air Force. Some traders were seen selling the Nigerian flag for the October 1st celebration. To some Nigerians, there's really not so much to celebrate.
For me, Nigeria has nothing to celebrate because the killings even going the killing that happened in Nigeria, and they are still celebrating. The celebration is for few people, but not for Nigerians like us.
Well, nothing new. Still the old Nigeria, as I'm saying. In fact, this morning I woke up and I saw 62nd. I was like, wow. So it's so, as in, it's already approached that we are already 62 and nothing we are really seeing. Especially the security matters in this country. Everybody is almost gone in the country, and I keep seeing the inflation on the what they call it, the records of people remaining. 172 million people in Nigeria. I doubt if we are up to that. So because so many have gone, so many are dead, so many are like in the hospitals and all that. So you go out every day, you're scared. Is that what we are going to celebrate tomorrow? I don't know. Right now, the vehicle I'm going to enter now, I just got. I'm still scared. So I just hope everything changes.
For me, it's something that I've been doing over the years. So why should we not celebrate it? You know, it's Nigeria. Even though there are people that they are bad, that needs to be changed in the country, it doesn't mean we shouldn't embrace our own country. It's our country. We have to change it. Thank God for the 2023 election that is coming. So we hope things will change.
For these Nigerians, celebrating the independence is not enough, as they are hoping to see a better Nigeria. Martia Umar, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Still on independence celebration, former military president General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida and former head of state General Abdulsalam Abubakar have expressed hope that Nigeria will get out of its current challenges if the right steps are taken by elected leaders. They also charged the electorate not to allow themselves to be used by politicians in the 2023 elections, appealing to them to shun vote selling in order to bring in leaders that will have zeal for national development. General Babangida, who went down memory lane, said Nigeria was united at the end of the Civil War and called for the reintroduction of history in Nigerian schools to equip younger generation with the knowledge of the past to enable them understand the importance of indivisibility of the country and contribute their quota in nation building. On his part, the former head of state, General Abdulsalam Abubakar, said Nigeria has come a long way since independence, saying the nation building is a continuous process. The Executive Secretary of the Nasarawa State Emergency Management Agency, Zakari Alumaga, has disclosed that no fewer than 400,000 persons have so far been displaced by flood in the state. The state's top emergency officer had earlier put the number of displaced persons at about 361. However, Alumaga told newsmen during the visit of the National Emergency Management Agency NEMA officials to the state on Thursday that the figure has risen to over 400,000. He said 92 communities across 11 local government areas were affected by the disaster. According to him, the affected local government areas include Awe, Toto, Keana, Doma, Nasarawa, Kefi, Nasarawa Egon, Obi, Lafia, Wamba, and Karu. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, Nasarawa State University, Kefi branch, has condemned the resumption call by management of the university to students and vowed to continue the union's nationwide strike action. Chairman of the union in the state, Samuel Alu, made this known at a press briefing held in Kefi on Friday. Recall that management of the school recently, via a statement signed by its registrar Bala Ahmed, directed students of the institution to resume for academic activities despite the fact that ASU was still in an ongoing strike to press home their demands. Alu described the directive of the management of the institution as a reckless betrayal and vowed that members of the union in the institution will not be forced to go back to class against their wishes. He then appreciated students and parents for their understanding, resilience, and resolve to sacrifice for the betterment of the future and to save the education sector from total collapse. The federal government's ban on use of foreign models and voice-over artists for advertisements targeted at Nigerians takes effect on October 1st. The commitment to fostering local talent development, drive inclusive economic growth, and advance Nigeria's advertising sector is an Independence Anniversary gift that has been welcomed by the creative industry. It is also an opportunity for the country's young population to take on the challenge of filling the gap left by the absence of foreign models and voice-over artists. Trust TV's Aisha Saliu tells us more.
For many years, advertisements of brands' products and services often aired within the Nigerian media featured white actors and are narrated by those with foreign accents. The new ban provides the opportunity for the country's talents to step to the plate. After 62 years of independence, it is the appropriate policy to announce the coming of age of Nigeria's creative industry.
As a Nigerian, if you want to buy into a product that they are advertised to, you want to hear it from a Nigerian. And when you think about it from that perspective, yes, it works.
We have the talent. The shortage of talent is not our problem. We have them in abundance. What we have is just that the structure to nurture these people, to allow them to blossom.
Entrepreneurs who have taken advantage of the creative space believe that they are equipped with state-of-the-art facilities that can equal and surpass the standards set by foreign players, in line with the aim of the Advertising Regulatory Council of Nigeria.
In the Nigerian sector, for instance, apart from revamping the older divisions, 4 creative verticals are coming up. One is in music, IT, film, and fashion.
Having a space where they have the right equipment, the set of resources that they need to be able to explore and showcase their talent to the world. One of the things we're doing is to build a community of creatives where they can create things together, get inspired, work together, and be able to do bigger things.
As the first country attempting this feat, Nigeria is seeking a major step in the bid to bring representation of the country's native population up front and center. It is also a reflection of the country's independence and self-awareness that indigenous models are now being given the monopoly to do commercials. Aisha Salihu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
You're watching News Hour on Trust TV. Coming up after the break, ancient buildings that survive in post-independence era. Stay with us.
As the 2023 elections draw near, remember, evil prospers when good men and women only wish for peace, but never take a step to make peaceful elections happen. Are you a father? Are you a mother? What are you saying to your children as elections approach? Have you warned them not to let themselves be used to cause violence? Have you explained to them what the consequences of electoral violence might be? Do your part to make peaceful elections happen. Talk to your children. Protect them from unscrupulous politicians who want to put them in harm's way, while their own children are comfortable at home, within and outside the country. Let's join hands to make 2023 elections peaceful. This message is from the National Orientation Agency, NOAA.
Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is News Hour on Trust Television. A recap of our top stories. PDP and APC presidential candidates face another legal hurdle as court hears disqualification suit. And preparations in top gear to celebrate Nigeria's 62nd independence anniversary. Now, moving on to other stories. A magistrate court in Sokoto has sentenced the nursing staff of Usmanu Danfodio University Teaching Hospital for Lasade Adesina, who injured a newborn baby, to avenge a carryover. And the woman has been sentenced to 18 months imprisonment with an option of 100,000 naira. The court found Adesina guilty of one count charge of causing grievous injury to an infant. The presiding magistrate, Absat May Akwe Lamido, affirmed that the nursing staff was guilty as charged and sentenced her to prison. The incident happened in June last year when the mother of the newborn baby girl, a non-academic staff of the National Open University Sokoto Learning Center, put to bed at the hospital. The mother, Asmau Ahmad Tijani, who spoke to newsmen after the judgment, described the verdict as a good omen and a respite to the family. She also said that the baby, who is over 1 year old now, had fully recovered. Counsel to the second defendant, that's the hospital, Asmau Jega, declined comment on the judgment. Officials of Lagos State Waste Management Authority, LOMA, have retrieved a day-old baby from a dumpster while evacuating waste in a street in Ikoyi, Lagos. The Police Public Relations Officer, PPRO, in Lagos State, Benjamin Hundeyi, confirmed this on his verified Twitter handle on Friday. Hundeyi said at about 10 a.m. on Thursday, LOMA officials went to the Ikoyi Police Division to file a report on the discovery of the baby in a polythene bag. He added that the baby was rushed to the military hospital of 81 Division, Dordon Barracks, Ikoyi, for medical treatment before it was taken to a motherless baby home. The spokesman said, but for the quick detection by the LOMA officials, the baby would have died. The Oyo State government has enrolled 45,000 poor and vulnerable people under the Basic Healthcare Provision Fund, BHCPF, in the state. This, the state government said, was part of the Governor Seyi Makinde-led administration's effort to provide free medical services for the people. Speaking on Friday during the flag-off of the scheme at the Afin Primary Health Care Center, Oyo, Atiba local government area of Oyo State, the Secretary of the state government, Olubamiwo Adeosun, said the vision of the state government is to achieve universal health coverage for all residents of Oyo State, where no one is left behind in accessing health care. Adeosun extolled the state government for availing the residents of Oyo State the opportunity under the scheme. Adeosun enjoined the enrollees to take advantage of the opportunity under the access to the care scheme without paying out of pocket. Infanticide is the act of killing children who, by culture, are defined as evil in some communities. Despite the technological advancement, just a few kilometers away from FCT here, some communities are still stuck in the dark ages and still murder young children. Fatima Musa visited a project set up by child rights activists that has saved the lives of children who have been abandoned by their parents.
Stakeholders, in collaboration with National Human Rights Commission, have since 2019 worked towards the abolition of infanticide in conjunction with these children. The underlying strategy is to empower communities and to create change over the years. Infanticide is still being practiced by communities across the FCT, including the native Basakomo, Bariyamma, and Ganagana.
Since 2019, ActionAid Nigeria has been implementing the Mobilizing Action towards the abolition of infanticide, MATI project, with Divine Heritage Home, while collaborating with the National Human Rights Commission and other ministries, departments, and agencies, as well as Child Focused Network in Nigeria. We believe the termination of lives of children during or after childbirth is adverse and inimical to the concept which justifies the sanctity of life and all contextually acceptable global laws.
At risk are children who are autistic, albinos, twins, and those believed to be evil in some communities. Children in these communities are still being killed due to cultural and traditional beliefs by the people of this community.
Infanticide remains a practice shrouded in secrecy. It is done discreetly, about which few community members we speak openly about. Babies occasionally are buried alive with their deceased mothers, or they are poisoned with mixture of plants, which could be herbs, or rather they get them stabbed, sacrificed, or suffocated.
Stakeholders believe that the practice of infanticide is mostly spurred by illiteracy. Breaking such beliefs are slow and tedious, but the project is making steady progress as it's presently rehabilitating 178 children, while it has succeeded in reuniting 18 infants with their families.
There are still one or two pockets of communities who are still adamant and If anything is tied to people's culture and tradition, you can't just wish it away over time. There are people who see themselves as protectors, defense system for their cultural practices. And some of them are saying, because about 4 months ago, we went to some places, want to rescue a child. The community leader said, no, you are not picking them out. Our tradition says they must die, and so they will die. There's nothing you do about it.
Relevant arms of government are being urged to be more proactive in addressing perinatal health issues and the attendant skilling of vulnerable children targeted by harmful cultural beliefs and illiteracy. Fatima Musa, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The Independent National Electoral Commission in Bauchi has warned political parties on the do's and don'ts of campaigns and elections ahead of the 2023 polls. The commission made this known during an interactive session with the party's stakeholders towards ensuring peace and stability throughout the electioneering process. Adamu Imam reports.
During the interactive session with various political parties, the INEC Administrative Secretary in the state explained what is expected of them during and after the whole process, especially in the area of security and collection of PVCs.
Critical. During the meeting, a number of people raised concerns about security, but we gave the assurance that INEC works within a committee, the Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security, with the various security agencies. And, they will always, be there to assist us in creating the required secure environment for elections.
Some of the political parties' representatives ponder more on the problems between the two major political parties, People's Democratic Party and All Progressives Congress, during campaigns and the election.
We are promising to do our campaign in accordance with the provision of the Electoral Act, and I'm calling on all the members of PDP in Bauchi State and even outside Bauchi State that we will conduct our campaign in accordance with the provision of the Electoral Act.
We are not jittering, we are not fearing of anybody. What we are after is we want to be law-abiding, we are peaceful, and we want to conduct our affairs in a peaceful manner. So we don't want any interruption from any corner. That is why we raised that question.
The Commission also appealed to the political parties to mobilize prospective electorates to visit the state INEC offices for the collection of their PVCs, as that 8,265 are yet to be collected in the state. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
Speaker of the Zamfara State House of Assembly, Nasiru Muazu, has charged media practitioners to ensure professional reportage of the electioneering campaign to sustain the relative peace in the state. He gave the charge while playing host to the leadership of the Nigeria Union of Journalists, NUJ, Zamfara State Council in Gusau, the state capital. The report.
The Zamfara speaker observed that media practitioners have a critical role to play in sensitizing and enlightening Nigerians on proper way of participating in the 2023 general election. He called on media practitioners and organizations to avoid reportage that is capable of exacerbating the insecurity bedeviling the country and Zamfara State in particular.
I urge you as a media organization to ensure during next coming election that all appropriate media, appropriate design, which we can transfer a message to our populace, to our people, to our community, that may enhance the political benefit of the state. I also urge you once again to use your appropriate knowledge to enlighten the public on how to tackle election process, on how to tackle campaign process, on how to embark on everything that will maintain the peaceful situation of the state.
The chairman of the Nigeria Union of Journalists, NUJ Zamfara State Council, Meizare Musa, said the visit was to seek collaboration and support to ensure peace and stability in the state. He warned members of the union to desist from reporting fake news, but rather be guided by the ethics of their profession, particularly in the reportage of the electioneering activities. Comrade Mizare Musa vowed that the union will continue to protect the interest of members of the NUJ. He, however, warned that it would not fail to sanction anyone found engaging in unprofessional conduct.
The Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Irabor, said the remodification of the training curriculum of cadets in the Nigerian Defense Academy has prepared the potential officers to contribute their quota as military men in addressing the current security challenges. The defense chief made the comment at a regiment dinner in honor of the graduating cadets of the academy. Bello Musa reports.
The regimental dinner night is aimed at giving the potential officers the opportunity to interact, share views, and remind themselves the virtues and etiquette of the military. The defense chief, General Irabor, while delivering his speech, said, considering the contemporary security challenges and the kind of training they went through, the cadets are prepared for the task ahead.
I have taken keen interest in the training of cadets in the Nigerian Defense Academy owing to the current dynamics of our contemporary security environment. The feedback I have received indicates that this set of cadets are the first to benefit from the recent modification of the training curriculum to address the current security challenges confronting our dear nation.
He urged the cadets to shun corruption and anything that could lead to compromising the military etiquette and values.
Against this background, I wish to advise you all to be cautious, well-behaved, and avoid all forms of temptations that could lead you to compromise the standard of military ethics and values for material and self-gratification. Therefore, you must shun all forms of corrupt practices and negative practices that go against the moral principles of the military, which, of course, is a noble profession globally.
In a few days, the cadets will be commissioned officers of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
The Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, says it has foiled an attempt by some gunmen to abduct a foreigner on a farm in Ibadan, Oyo State. According to the Corps, one of the kidnappers was killed during a gun battle. The NSCDC Public Relations Officer, Oyo State, Oyedamola Okuneye, disclosed this in a statement on Thursday. The statement said the kidnappers, numbering 8, gained entry into Easygate Farm on Abanla Ogumakin Road, Ibadan, Oyo State, to kidnap the owner of the farm, who is a foreigner, but was stopped by men of the Corps. Nasarawa State Command of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps has arrested 3 persons over alleged defilement of 2 girls at different locations in Lafia, the state capital. Public Relations Officer of the command, Jerry Victor, made this known while parading the suspects at the command's headquarters in Lafia. Abubakar Abdullahi sent in the report as presented in our studio.
The Nasarawa State NSCDC PRO said one of the suspects, a 20-year-old Haruna Mohammed, was arrested over alleged defiling and impregnating one of the victims, 13-year-old Fatima Abdullahi.
He was arrested at about 18:00 hours on the 20th of September 2022 for defiling and impregnating a 13-year-old girl by name Fatima Abdullahi. It is called for, this kind of crime, this dastardly act that is being perpetrated by these young men. The suspect also claimed that they are dating, for some time now.
He said one of the 2 other suspects, a friend to the father of one of the victims, jointly committed the offense on the victim, Ramatu Dahiru, who is also a 13-year-old.
It is disheartening that Dauda Muhammad happened to be the friend to the victim's father, and he was arrested because of the some strange behavior that was observed by the mother of the victim. And after some interrogation, she had to open up to her mother that it was Dauda Muhammad and Haruna Abdullahi that called her sometimes when she was sent by her parents to go and get something. So on her way going, they accosted her on the road and of course lure her to an undisclosed location and defile her in that place.
The NSCDC PRO, who cautioned parents not to allow their children, especially girls, to be on their own in order not to fall victim of rape and other human abuses, said the suspects would be charged to court upon conclusion of investigations. One of the suspects, Haruna Mohammed, admitted committing the offense but attributed his actions to the work of the devil, while one of the victims, Fatima Abdullahi, said she was raped when she went to visit the suspect, who at the time was sick.
I had sexual intercourse with a girl. That was why I was brought here. I know she's not my wife, but what happened is the work of the devil because I know my actions are an offense.
He said he was sick, so I came to visit him. He raped me. I shouted, but nobody came to rescue. Because of that incident, I am now 5 weeks pregnant. With the rise in cases of rape, observers are of the view that there is a need for proper monitoring on who relates with children, especially the girl child, while authorities have to impose stringent measures to punish offenders and also serve as a deterrent for others.
The FCT command of the Nigerian Correctional Service has completed the registration of 53 inmates of both the Kuje and Suleja custodial centers in preparation for the November-December West African Examination Council WAEC Senior School Examination SSCE for external candidates. Completing the online registration for some of the inmates at the Kuje Medium Security Custodial Center on Thursday, FCT Controller of Corrections, Ahmed, said he is hopeful that the selected candidates will excel. In a communique signed by the Public Relations Officer PRO of the command, Humphrey Chukwedo, Ahmed noted that the center is known for producing candidates with excellent results, urging all registered inmates to shun all forms of examination malpractices. The controller encouraged all to make themselves available for the ongoing intensive preparation classes in order to make good grades, as that is imperative to their smooth reintegration after service of the terms of their imprisonment. Katsina is one of the educationally advantaged states in northern Nigeria, owing to its hosting one of the premier institutions in the country, the Katsina Teachers Training College. Established in 1921 by the British government, the college was officially opened in 1922 by Sir Hugh Clifford, who was then Governor General of Nigeria. In this special report, Trust TV's Abdullahi Yamadi takes a look at the role played by the historical building in the development of Nigeria. His report.
This building is the institution that produced a great percentage of northern leaders such as the Sardauna of Sokoto, Sir Ahmadu Bello, Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, Sir Kashim Ibrahim, and the host of many others. Katsina Teachers Training College, located in the heart of Katsina, nurtured all the prominent and famous leaders of northern Nigeria. This cut across administrative and political leaders who steered the ship of leadership before and even after the independence of Nigeria.
The purpose of establishing the college was to provide teachers for the then middle schools. In each province, there was a middle school. This middle school is partly primary, is partly secondary.
Up till today, there is the chair and the desk of the first principal of the college, Sir G.A.J. Vatman, as well as the pictures of the first set of students of the college.
It was the only secondary school in the whole northern region. So most of the first leadership in the political arena, people like Tafawa Balewa, people like Sardauna, people like Makamu Bida, Isa Kaita, and so on. All their names are here. They all passed through that college. And they were the first political leaders of the northern region. And because it was the only college, it united the whole north.
It stands to reason that the history of Nigeria and the north in particular is incomplete without a mention of the famous Katsina College. Today, this building houses national monuments and many historical artifacts which are found inside.
Enrollment of 50 students throughout northern Nigeria, that is from Kwara down to Maiduguri. Only 50 students were selected to attend this college, to start the college. All the teaching staff during that time were Europeans. They came from England.
In addition to being a custodian that advanced the development of Western civilization, Katsina is the home to first Islamic university in West Africa, established over 670 years ago. Starting out as a mosque, the institution was transformed into the Gobaro Islamic University, affiliated to the Islamic University in Timbuktu, Mali.
That university produced very famous Islamic scholars whose fame is still being respected all over the Muslim world, including three great ones. First, there was Sheikh Muhammad Al-Kashnawi Al-Fulani, who was a Fulani man, who traveled to Saudi Arabia. On his way back, stayed in Cairo, taught people of Cairo, and even wrote a book which is available at Al-Azhar University.
These two educational establishments have not only cemented Katsina's place as a historical educational reference, but has also crowned Katsina as a center of learning and civilization in both Western and Islamic education. Abdullahi Ismail Ahmadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
To business now. The Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, FAN, will from the 2nd of October commence automated park and pay at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, to checkmate touting and indiscriminate parking at the airport. The regional manager, Abuja Airport, Kabiru Mohammed, was speaking Thursday at the commissioning of the park and pay, which also coincided with the 40 years anniversary of the airport, said the park and pay policy will affect cars parked at the designated car parks and also at the roadside. The regional manager said the first 30 minutes will be free, after which vehicle owners will have to pay an undisclosed amount of money, adding that new identity cards will be issued to the FAN staff, which they can use to park. He mentioned that the complimentary cards will also be issued to security and protocol officers or VIPs for a specific period of time, after which they will have to pay to park at the airport. We will now join Chamunda Beng for more on business.
Nigeria's State Action on Business Enabling Reform SABRE Program for Results has been granted a $750 million International Development Association IDA credit by the World Bank. The international banking institution announced this in a statement to the public, stressing that the credit will hasten the adoption of crucial measures that will enhance the business-friendly environment in all states. The program is in line with Nigeria's National Development Plan, which lays out an ambitious strategy to achieve sustainable economic growth spearheaded by the private sector. The goal is to create 20 million full-time jobs and rescue 35 million people from poverty by 2025. The World Bank acknowledged that Nigeria has advanced reforms to remove barriers in the business environment, particularly through action driven by the Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council, PEBEC. Unfortunately, Nigeria has lagged behind its peers in terms of its capacity to draw domestic and foreign investment. Gender discrimination costs Nigeria around $26 billion annually. Data released by the Nigerian Economic Summit Group (NESG) show that gender disparities in earnings might result in a loss of $23,620 in wealth per person globally. This might result in a predicted global loss of human capital wealth worth around $160 trillion. The NESG CEO Laoye Jayola, who revealed this at a press conference in Abuja, said Nigeria is ranked 139th out of 149 nations in the Global Gender Index. This underscores the need for coordinated measures to reduce losses due to gender disparity. The over-reliance on imported goods, according to the International Monetary Fund, IMF, has made the food crisis that is currently afflicting Nigeria and other sub-Saharan nations worse. The Washington-based lender claimed in a recent research that sub-Saharan food prices rose by an average of 23.9% between 2020 and 2022, the highest level since the global financial crisis of 2008. The increase, according to the report, was equivalent to an 8.5% increase in the price of a typical food consumption basket. The region's imports of major staple foods were partially to blame, while there was a large pass-through of global food prices to local food costs. Even though cassava and maize were primarily grown locally, it was noticed that prices in Nigeria had more than doubled for both commodities. That's all for Business News. I am Chamun Dabeng.
On the foreign scene, heavy gunfire has been heard from the main military base and some residential areas in Ouagadougou, Burkina Faso's capital. According to Reuters, the incident happened early on Friday morning. A number of armed soldiers have been positioned along the road leading to the presidential palace. Military personnel are said to be restricting entry into administrative buildings and the national television station, which has now halted broadcasting. Meanwhile, BBC says that local newspapers are reporting that gunfire was also heard at other military barracks across the country. Thailand's Constitutional Court has ruled that Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha can continue in office and that he had not surpassed his maximum 8-year term limit. As Premier, the court, in a 25-minute reading of a verdict on Friday, said Prayut's tenure as Prime Minister should be counted from 2017 when the new constitution was promulgated. The decision will be a boost for Prayut, a staunch royalist whose premiership has been beset by attempts to unseat him, including 4 House censure motions, a conflict of interest case, and major protests challenging his leadership and the monarchy. A spokesperson for Prayut said he respected the ruling and thanked his supporters. In sports, Ibrahim Musa Gusau has emerged the new president of the Nigerian Football Federation this afternoon in elective congress ongoing at the Heritage Hotel, Benin City, Edo State. It witnessed the participation of 44 delegates from across the country. The contenders are Ibrahim Gusau, CAF committee member and the Zamfara FA chairman, Sheyi Akinwumi, first vice president of the NFF, Shehu Diko, the chairman of the league management company, Peterside Ida, a former Super Eagles goalkeeper, Abayola, the chief of staff to the sports minister. Gusau needed 22 votes to win, held a final runoff for all candidates that had at least 1 vote. Akinwumi, Diko, and Abayola all stepped down, hence a final runoff between Gusau and Peterside. Gusau, the former Zamfara State Football Association chairman, emerged victorious and will now lead the NFF for the next 4 years. Sports has a huge role to play when it comes to nation building, as it is a place where people come together disregarding ethnicity, religion, and status to achieve common goal. Sports was formally introduced into educational curriculum in Nigeria as physical education in 1904 by the British administration, And as the country celebrates its 62nd anniversary, Trust TV's Neo Samson takes a look at the sports journey so far.
The Nigerian sports sector has been characterized with different folds of both good and bad from independence to date. However, some believe that the sports sector has massively improved. However, lots of Nigeria have won medals to make Nigeria proud in different sports. Nigerians have captured so many trophies in football, both senior or junior level, winning gold at the Olympics, Commonwealth Games, AFCON, Women's Cup of Nations, and so many competitions. Despite all these achievements, Nigerian sport is faced with so much problem that hinders sports development rapidly.
Since 1960 to 90s to 2000, the sports now is going down, down, down. It's not like before.
Nigerian sports sector is improving because since 1960, the improvement we have in Nigeria, you people can see that in terms of football, we are progressing. We have a lot of international footballers playing outside the country.
Let me give an example from my own game, cricket. I play cricket for Anambra State specifically, and I go for national competition. And well, I think NCA, Nigerian Cricket Federation, have been trying their best to bring the sports into the limelight.
However, people believed if they were done differently in the sector, Nigeria will be able to compete favorably with other nations.
The ministers of sports, let them wake up. You understand me? Because this is not how the sports is supposed to be in Nigeria. So please, I want them to see we have a lot of youths that are capable of moving everything movable. You understand me?
No segregation in sports. Nothing like a lesser sport, because today sports has proven to be a pathway for everything, for life, for livelihood. So it's very, very important that government lays emphasis in those grassroots and don't segregate among sports.
What happened during the case of the female eaglets coming back from World Cup? They slept in the airport because they lost a match. I don't think it's right. I think the government should look into sports. There are some states that have plenty talents that really need to come out, but because of the financial aids, they are just there lavishing.
The importance of sports cannot be underestimated, especially in a country like Nigeria. Therefore, stakeholders advise that the sector should not be treated with levity hands, as it is a strong means of revenue generation as well as an avenue for evaluating qualities like discipline, determination, teamwork, and a passion for fitness and the psyche of a nation. Neo Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And with that, we come to the end of News Hour for tonight. I am Deron Odifade. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to join us across all our social media platforms. Have a nice weekend. Bye for now.